Democratic Alliance is holding its policy congress this weekend. It comes after another high-profile black leader, John Moody, resigned on Wednesday this week. He accuses the party of being captured by personalities only driving white interest. Last year, former Johannesburg Mayor Ntate Mashaba and former party leader Mmusi Maimane left the party. Our reporter Govan Wiltels has been following this story, and we speak to him now from our newsroom. Govan, there's been the matter of redress that the DA has been tackling. Of course, there's a lot of matters that the main opposition party has been tackling. But what about the redress are they looking at?
Yeah, this is an important matter, Morena, because it's a bone of contention within the DA on whether or not race is a proxy for disadvantage. And when you're trying to deal with the inequality created by the abhorrent system of apartheid, whether you should consider someone's race as a primary indicator on whether or not they should receive some relief. It's the basis upon which some of the economic policies in South Africa have been crafted. It's also what the Democratic Alliance has been consistently criticizing, at least for the last 3 years. It's an issue which Mmusi Maimane, as former leader of the DA, clashed with senior leadership with, including Helen Zille. And the actual policy that's come out of the policy conference on redress, and the wording thereof is quite interesting. Let me go through what the Democratic Alliance says about redress, and it says redress refers to the need to remedy or correct an unfair or unjust situation. And then this important acknowledgement from the DA regarding apartheid. The DA is saying that our past is littered with a myriad of injustices arising from past conflicts, racial segregation, and the policy of apartheid. They include the forced removals, job reservation, detention without trial, disparities in education and concentration camps, and the consequences of these injustices, the DA says, remain, and it's compounded by poor governance. And here's the caveat, an important caveat, which indicates that the power bloc that's being led by Helen Zille has had some influence on how the party will address redress. And it says, redress must couple a firm commitment to reconciliation with a commitment to ensuring that inequality of opportunity, which has been a hallmark of our past, is not a feature of our present and future. This goes directly to what Helen Zille is saying, that when trying to address the inequalities of apartheid, Helen Zille contends that the ANC government has simply created a new black elite at the expense of the white minority in South Africa. And the caveat is important, and so is the acknowledgement, because the issue of race is at the center of the divisions within the Democratic Alliance. I spoke to political analyst and professor of the Wits School of Governance, Ivo Sarakinski, a while ago. Let's have a look at what he had to say about this new direction the DA is taking with race.
It's an interesting and potentially important way forward in order to escape the trap of the usual beneficiaries being ongoing beneficiaries in terms of blunt criteria such as race. So some fine-tuning is necessary. It's the devil is in the detail. It's how you provide the qualification that's important. So bringing in easily available data like household incomes, annual salaries, to qualify and to identify those who best need support could be extremely helpful and beneficial in the future.
Something that former leader and the Johannesburg Mayor Ntate Mashaba has brought up, BEE and triple BEE, that he believes has actually not benefited black people. What is the DA saying about that?
Yeah, the DA agrees broadly, and they're crafting their alternative to the triple BEE policy, which was created by the ANC, and they want to anchor this alternative on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which of course sets targets for 2030 for countries to achieve, to become not only financially or economically sustainable, but also sustainable with agriculture and have good governance practices in place. And I spoke to the professor at the Wits School of Governance once again about this issue, and it's being touted as an alternative, but the professor seems to suggest that using the Sustainable Sustainable Development Goals could potentially create more red tape and more bureaucracy and actually force businesses to take longer to get access to government funds. Of course, the DA puts cutting down red tape at the center of its governing policy. Let's have a look at what Professor Sarakinski had to say.
What that could do is bog the decision-making process down in some very difficult data gathering processes in order to make that evidence-based judgment on who is and who isn't eligible. So I'm not sure that that one will help as much as the proposal might expect. It could be red tape that slows down decision-making. In terms of assessing environmental friendliness, in terms of empowerment of disadvantaged communities, which is in the SDGs.
All right. Thank you very much. Govind Whittles, he is our reporter coming to us live from our newsroom, just following the story of the Democratic Alliance's virtual policy conference. You'll be bringing those updates throughout the afternoon.